for him. Why? Why him? He's not impressive. He's not somebody who organically led or fostered a movement. The election, this wouldn't justify indulgence to a rapist, of course, but the election, at the point at which Graham Platner became the toast of the left, was a year away. Why do the Pod Save America bros feel the need to say he's a good man? Why did it take a woman sitting right in front of Jake Tapper and being asked, was this a rape? And saying, yes, to kick him out? I'm just baffled. I don't understand in the sense that I would endorse this or behave like this myself.
Okay. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's going to be a tough one for Graham Platner. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a tough one, but I don't know. That is it. So the forensics behind the thing that, and now everybody's calling for him to leave, except for like a few. Essentially, the main hardcore, essentially Al Qaeda main public NPR listeners. Like, other than them, like, everybody's saying, okay, you gotta leave. It's not gonna work. But here's my feeling is that I try to put myself in somebody's shoes. So, yeah. I think the way Graham Pollard said it last night on the show was good. But I talked to him again today about it. You're a guy who, if you're like him now in his 30s, the 5 years ago, 30s are pretty good years because he was a decent looking guy, right? And you're still young. You can date younger women. You can date older women. And you come off as more of a man. Women's standards drop, I found, when they get older and want to become broken human beings, like the men too. But like the thing is that so he's wasted. He had been hooking up with her, and so she's probably like his like booty call kind of. I think when you're younger, you always have, or maybe some guys had something like that, and I used to know this. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But anyway, what's different about, there's a couple things that make him odd. One, that he's wasted, blackout drunk, wasted drunk, and that like anything works. And guys, you know what I mean. It's like that's usually one of the first things to go is the ability. I mean, the intention might be there, but the ability is sayonara. Unless you're just that wasted where he's just like insane and he's like a new personality. But also, like the biggest like, bad drunks I've known are guys who just won't pass out. And that's a huge thing because you got to pass out. Like, and we've all had like terrible nights where like you're just missing the end of the night. And for most of us, it was certainly when we were younger, obviously, but you're just missing the night. I mean, there was the one time I think I told you this, at the Red Hat, where I apparently talked to a blonde girl. This was, I was in my 20s, and we left together and just disappeared into the night. And I had no recollection of any of this. And just the bartender told me, unless he was screwing with me. And I was like, I don't know. Is she alive? I don't know. Anyway. But but the thing about him is, and this is what makes her account so kind of real, I mean, not. I mean, real in a sense that you could see it. Like you could. This isn't jumping from behind the bushes, or is he goes there. He's trying to do the booty call. He's pawing her. She says, "Leave me alone. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it." But he pushes it and pushes and pushes it. At this point, he's probably hoping that no will turn to yes. And as guys know, sometimes no turns to yes. Usually, not while you're physically restraining them. That is a no that's not going to turn to yes. And that is not. But we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't be. Usually, you guys know that. Sometimes you get a few disclaimers, and it's their way of kind of just saying that, hey, I did say I wasn't really. I did say I didn't. It's a way of them getting on the record out there that they have said that they don't usually do this, whatever. And sometimes no can turn to yes, but as you know, but for him to plow through and she's saying no, 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 and him to just like not care and just plow through and like finish and all that stuff, I've not done that. And that's a dangerous thing. If that's your go-to and you've got that, look, when you black out, that can happen anytime. That's a tough one. That is a tough one to have. And that's vicious. And that's like where she must have felt like, wait a second, I used to hook up with this guy. I know him. He knows how to come out. I've had her let him come in here before, but I told him no this time. She must have been like, did I just get raped? And like, I assume like that's a fairly common story. Is that's how it happens? And so women are like, oh, because I mean, there's a reason why this stuff is traumatic. I think is among other things especially if you're wondering, you're like, wait a second, does this? Well, because I told him no, and to be powerless for the whole thing. So, like, obviously, that's terrible, and that's why like you can't really be behind him anymore after that. Even if it's something that only happens when he's blacked, whatever. A drunk guy in a blackout who rapes somebody is a rapist. It's just what it's called. And it's not great. It's not great. They are bailing on him. Pretty much most people are bailing on him. And it's bringing out, of course, it's exposing people as being just totally fraudulent, saying, well, Trump, there's no real credible allegations versus Trump, and this whole thing of him doing the grab and by the whatever thing it's not an admission that he was sexually assaulting. That's him saying, hey, guess what? You get total permission if you're famous. Whatever, fine, doesn't matter. But it does bring us to an interesting situation here. So now this guy is still in the race. At this moment, he's still in the race for Senate. And all these people who backed him now, of course, are weasels. And they're all like, oh, I don't know. Not all of them completely. Like, there are people, you want to know, not to steal from them, you want to know how the Holocaust happened? Here's Maine Public Radio, Maine NPR today. A little piece of that.
Okay. I just wanted to just put my
caller named Jill
2 cents in as a normal, everyday person. I spent like 10 years with domestic violence, and I've also been raped. And honestly, I listen to this, and I'm voting for Graham Platner no matter what.
There you go.
This is a witch hunt. Too many people are saying that they're raped without proof. It seems very short-sighted that it's coming up right now. And again, I'm still struggling with my own internal issues, but I feel like there's just we've got the burnt, we've got Harvey, what's his face, and there's not one person in the U.S. that's been charged with anything, So to me, this just seems like a tidbit of morality that nobody seems to have.
Yeah, and
So that's Maine NPR caller in there saying, wait, everybody else rapes and they get away with it. So why does this guy have to go down? Because, I mean, who's better? She should be singularly mad, of course, that he raped somebody, allegedly. But for her to say, oh, well, you know what? It happens. And who else is going for it? That is Holocausty. It's like, yeah, fine. I saw the smoke come out of at Auschwitz, but there's a lot of people through history who've been killed. There's a lot of people who've done, there's a lot of people, and that not all of them were ended up prosecuted in jail for. It's like, it's a weird context, but it just allows for anything, any kind of action at all, and you can't have a civilization when you like that. There's another reason we need religion. There's another segment where the host of this radio show is just reading some comments.
6. I'm going to read just a few of the comments coming in. Kyle on Facebook says, this public outcry is absolutely disgusting. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Sarah says, if it is right for Mr. Platner to step aside, it must be only done if every other man in U.S. Congress or executive branch or Supreme Court who has ever coerced a man, woman, or child into unsought sexual acts also steps down immediately. Otherwise, this pressure on Platner smacks loudly of a carefully managed witch hunt. We've got a Scott who says, whether the allegations are true or not, it would have been a non-issue if he had an R after his name. Sadly, the Democratic establishment didn't want him to begin with. I just hope whomever they appoint against the voters' choice can actually beat Collins in the fall. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of some of the comments coming in. Ron,
so if you call this a witch hunt, then that absolves everything for everybody all the time. Just a witch hunt. A witch hunt. This guy, high profile, did these things, didn't care. There were all sorts of people talking about it to each other. He did all the things. Oh, it's a witch hunt. What do you mean witch hunt? Do you think a witch hunt was when in Salem, Massachusetts, there was a town full of 11,000 witches, but they just plucked out one to say, you know what, we're only going to kill you for this. Sorry about that. It's a weird thing. It is a weird. It's a weird thing. So it's got a bunch of these progressives, of course, all out of place. They don't know how to act or which way is up anymore, because this is weird, because they're having to have some kind of reckoning. Some of them didn't, like Mika run right after the reporter, and I think that's interesting too. All it shows to me is like nobody in this game has any real principles. Like they claim they have principles, but they don't have principles. By the way, there's another wow, hold on. Shenna Bello is saying that she may run. Am I seeing this for real? She's the Secretary of State for Maine. Who's a whack job. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just send this over to my. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I just have to send this to my guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So here's the left. Just, this is almost muscle memory right now. This need to just survive and be behind it. I'm going to vote for him no matter what, they say. No matter what. No matter what. No matter what? Yeah, no matter what. Isn't it interesting? Like, it's not hard to see how women shack up with like terrible people who are mean to their kids. No, it doesn't matter. He needs me. He needs me. News Center, Maine, new news item, by the way, just out. Woman tells Washington Post that Graham Platner removed condoms without consent during sex. He's just an absolute charming winner. He is. Congratulations, ladies, for really picking a good one there. Frig. Oh, am I not on? Okay, I'm on. Good. Maybe Platner is hoping that everyone is blackout drunk and will forget this. Maybe. They knew about this woman. They're bringing her forward now so they can get him out of the race before Monday and the inevitable gross shoe drops. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true, Splash. The story was weak. This was opportunity to dump the trash. He's the worst. Yep. Cheswick says, liberals, it's better to block your vision through life. That way you don't have to be accountable for your actions. If that ain't the truth, man, no kidding. All right, let's get to some of the stuff. So, Women News Center, Maine. Do I have that? There we go. Let me disable my ad blocker. This is called preparation. This is why I get paid big bucks for this. Disabled. Refresh. Thank you. This comes about 24 hours after a different ex-girlfriend claimed Platner raped her in 2021. He's denying both allegations. We are not shocked that he is denying both allegations. Why not? An ex-girlfriend claims Democratic candidate Platner repeatedly removed condoms without her consent during sex, according to a new report. How do you do that? Oh, it's Fifield. She says he would pull the condoms off, she told the Post. He would do it in a sneaky way. He wouldn't tell me. Oh, man. First of all, I think that just here's the View. This is great. Marjorie Taylor Greene. This actually takes a twist. In the View, Marjorie Taylor Greene is asked about this. She then goes at it with Sonny Hostin. Who knows who's on what side anymore?
Congresswoman, we were talking before you came out about Graham Platner and the very serious allegation that he sexually assaulted a woman back in 2021, an allegation he denies. More and more prominent Democrats are calling on him to end his campaign. Should he?
You know, I don't know anything about his policies. I just started learning about him yesterday when I saw this blow up. However, I do know what establishment political hit jobs look like. And I really wish women, when a woman is raped, it's extremely serious. And I stand behind women that are raped. And I ended my political career on that, by the way.
You did.
And I wish women would come forward. The most important thing a woman can do is come forward and report a rape, not report it years later when someone is running for office.
In a now deleted post, you accuse Platner's accuser of doing, quote, rape for politics, end quote, stating that she had consensual sex with him years ago.
No, I didn't accuse. I said women should report rape.
Right,
Because
early
you want to
on.
know why? We want to get these rapists off the street.
Early on in the tweet, and I'll tell you, I'm a former sex crimes prosecutor. As they were trying to,
yeah, but you're
let me finish.
misquoting me. I wish you'd put if you put my deleted tweet.
I think we have
up.
it.
We have it.
I posted that because I support women who have been raped or sexually assaulted, and I want them to have justice.
But not if they've had consensual sex before.
Then, secondly, don't wait until they're running for office. We need to know early on.
She was warning the public.
I was warning the public.
No,
okay?
but this woman is warning the public.
I'm saying the public needs to be warned because rapists need to be convicted.
I do want to ask you
the woman's fault.
No, Sonny, it's not the woman's fault. Not at all.
Congresswoman, I want to ask you about another.
Just like it's not Americans with flags in front of their house's fault, and it should not be offensive.
Congresswoman, I do.
We're out of time. As much as
y'all should have had me for the whole show.
No.
Although Marjorie Taylor Greene should probably be part of that show now. It should actually be pretty good. Let me see what else was I looking at here. Chris Murphy has scrubbed his Twitter account. Vile mention of Graham Platner in hopes no one will remember he was a diehard early supporter, which he certainly was. They love him in Maine, he said. Here's a great piece. This is by the Patriot Oasis. This is Fox News. Showing Eric Swalwell, his statement next to side by side with Graham Platner's.
That you see and hear from me directly.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false.
Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false.
I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support.
We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love.
Mark.
That
There
you
we
see
go.
and hear
Wow,
from
what
me
guys.
directly.
What some solid guys there. Isn't it funny how it's all like one playbook? Marketing people, although my wife is one, in a lot of ways they're just disgusting because a lot of times it's so bland and mediocre. I guess I get it, but it still is. Ugh. New York Times, Platner said on a private call with his campaign staff on Monday evening that he believed he still had leverage to influence which candidate would replace him in the ticket, according to people there. Maybe he does. If I were him, I'd stay in. Why the frig not? Or shake somebody down. I mean, you got it. That's what you do. He's already a dirtbag. A lot of people think he's a rapist. Shake the main Democrats down, shake the national Democrats down, shake somebody down, or say, I'm running, and you're going to all have to explain me away. And who knows what's going to happen. Shake them down, baby. That's what to do. Here's Mom Donnie.
Given that you have a sort of ascendant role in the Democratic Party, could you talk about the main Senate race? Do you think that Graham Platner should drop out of the race? And do you have any intention of endorsing any candidates in competitive races outside of New York, El Said, or anyone else?
No, I believe that it's time for him to drop out of the race. And when it comes to my own endorsements, I've made 8 endorsements at the state and federal level. They've all been right here in New York City. I'm incredibly excited at the fact that they won their races, and that's where my focus is for now. I think the focus of today should be to respond to the gravity of what so many of us have read, and I think that the only appropriate response is for the campaign to come to an end.
Mom Donnie. He might be getting a swerve. I mean, that's precisely how he should be answering that. Precisely how he should be. And he has the appearance of like moderating a little bit, even if he says some wacky stuff. Here's Morning Joe. Here's Mika going after the author of the article. Saying, do you have proof of this? Do you have proof of this? This is Adam Wren. This is Tom Elliott, put that out there. Tom Elliott, our friend. Morning Joe spends 5 minutes grilling politicos Adam Wren for running a story on Platner as accusing me of rape. Mika just tries to tear him apart for this.
The questions about this, the questions surrounding this on both sides of this debate. There's not a police report, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. And there's not a legal case playing out here for due process to see itself through. So my question to you, given the very high standards Politico has before they write something like this and publish it, what aspects of this story brought it to the level of publishable?
Yeah, you're correct here, Mika. There is no police.
He's terrible at answering these questions, but I can tell you right now, they have somebody on the record who can provably know him, who communicated with her friends about this, who has a claim to make about him, who's right there. So, like, yeah, why wouldn't you? She's also been interviewed by other people, by the New York Times as well.
Police report in this case. We spent a lot of time talking to Jenny, asking her for corroborating evidence. She shared that she had confided into a number of people, including her therapist, in almost real time. And we reviewed email exchanges between she and her therapist, referring to what she called this sexual assault, and her therapist sort of acknowledging that this had happened to her. We talked to people who she confided in the months after this happened. We asked her why she didn't file a police report, and she described sort of the insular nature of where she lives in her corner of Maine that she shares with Graham Platner. And she, debated sort of how to handle this. And we found ultimately the number of corroborating pieces of evidence to support her story in a way that we could report it.
So what are some of those corroborating pieces of evidence? So you've got conversations with her therapist and people who she confided in. Any conversations with Graham Platner at the time of it where she said, because apparently as part of this.
So what do you want? How high's the bar, Mika? She told friends and she told her therapist. She raised stuff with Graham Platner. Like, what do you need from her exactly?
story, she says she even confirmed to him that this was not consent. Do you have that? What do you have that actually connects this literally? Graham Platner.
Yeah. It's not his job. He's not the CSI detective to connect it literally. You have somebody's claims with corroboration. That's what it is. These are accusations. These are, of alleged transgressions. And so what do you want?
To raping this victim.
Yeah, she reached out to him the day after via Instagram, and essentially, told him that she didn't want to hear from him again. She told him that morning as well, we looked at messages that she had sent to others in the months after this happened through social media.
But you were able to see those DMs?
She tried to recover those DMs. We did not. We were not able to review those DMs, but she described them to us. We also, long before he was a political candidate, we saw her essentially explain to others that he was, quote, in her words, consensually careless, end quote. But
were you able to see?
What do you want to see? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, how further do you want to go?
The interactions between Graham Platner and this alleged victim. Did you actually physically see them?
Who cares? Why are you setting this bar? It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Why is this bar just for Graham Platner?
She produced them for.
So what you're saying because she's a liar.
For you.
She attempted to uncover them. But was unable to.
Willie?
So let's talk a little bit, Adam, about some of the timing of this. Some people pointed out it's a week out from the date that Democrats now have to scramble and potentially find a new candidate if Platner does indeed drop out. By
the way, Mika, it's the Democrats who did this.
Expected to. We'll talk more, but his support in the Democratic Party nationally at the state level has collapsed.
But somehow, tangentially, if somehow Trump can benefit, then let the rapes happen and they're liars. Okay? Well,
these revelations. She was, Jenny, in that New York Times piece. She appeared in the piece a few weeks ago. So what's your sense of why she decided she wanted to go into more detail with you at this point?
Yeah, Willie, she was frustrated with how that article landed. She told us she was frustrated with another woman that she knows who was quoted in that piece, how her story was received. She felt there was a lot of negative polarization around that anecdote, that she was written off just because she was a Republican. And, she wanted Maine voters to have sort of the full story here. And
so there you go.
She sort of relayed all.
The truth is that they're flailing around because this is a tough one. They don't know what to do. This is a tough one. They want to pretend they care about sexual assault. They don't, obviously. Remember with Bill Clinton, they didn't care. They cared with Clarence Thomas with the Coke can and Anita Hill. I mean, God, they were all caring about that. Kavanaugh, that was baseless. They are all caring about that, but they don't care. And that's the truth. Here's Karen Finney, who is a Clinton lady, on CNN with Scott Jennings.
We'll see. He's going to have to prove himself all throughout this primary. It's ironic, though, particularly given this massive story today from the New York Times. And, Trump is smart enough to know you better, that's what he does. He he punches before you can counterpunch. I mean, the guy who has been accused by 30 women of various forms of sexual assault or improprieties, the guy who is a felon, a convicted felon who has been elected to the presidency, the question I think we should be asking is, has that lowered the bar for when we're talking about character and we're talking about whether or not it should matter? I think it should matter, and that's why I didn't vote for Donald Trump, and it's why I probably wouldn't have supported Graham Platner.
But you work for the Clintons, right?
I did, and I've actually had conversations with my former president about that.
So, really, conversations?
Have you talked to Donald Trump about having dinner with Nazi sympathizers or white supremacists?
The Democrat, you talking about the Democrat, Nick Fuentes? No, I haven't talked to him about that. Here's what I think.
So you think it's okay?
Here's what I think. I hear Elizabeth Warren saying he's taken responsibility or shown some accountability. I've heard the word redemption thrown around. I've heard Ro Khanna say he's showing some accountability. What they're saying doesn't match what Platner is saying. Platner denies.
That's actually not true.
He denies.
Did you see his interview this morning?
Platner has he has denied what the women have said. He said on MSNBC this morning that nothing that's come out is problematic. It's not. He said it's not a big deal.
That's not what he said.
So might be the old one, but still, you get it, right? And we played the other stuff. Do we want to do it? I don't want to do it. Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Helen of Troy in The Odyssey, who shouldn't be playing whatever. But then again, Elliot Page plays somebody.
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spent with them? Okay.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes, like, remember us?
Oh, please, Putin, just nuke us. Just nuke us, please. Okay, here's another one, too. Malat Kairos, who's going to Congress, has another bitch and moan they found that she did. Shocking.
Immigration, but there's going to be a lot of immigration because of people needing to flee parts of the world that are no longer habitable because of climate change. What are we doing to prepare for that world that's coming in when we haven't even fixed all of the problems that we're dealing with because of this patriarchal capitalist society? And so I do really believe that, the world moves in cycles, right? There are a lot of theories right now about us embarking on this 250th anniversary of our nation's founding and what that means for, I think our responsibility to reflect on what's worked well and what's not worked well. And there are going to be some very systemic institutional changes that I think are going to be necessary. There is going to
small brain, spoiled, rich American kids. I'm sick of them. All right. Tommy says, I have a confession, Tom. I broke into Platner's home and he raped me, according to Webster's Dictionary, in a non-gay way. Oh, well, that takes the sting out. Splash says, is there anybody who knows Platner who doesn't think he's a POS? Pretty much they all do. Dr. Cheswick says, can you imagine Tom in a meeting with the main guys just stopping mid-sentence to check his phone? Who would pay for that? Oh, wait. Oh, I had to check my phone. It was the main guys. How dare you. Splash says, if they only dug this deep into E. Jean Carroll's story. Yeah, she said she made it up right there on the spot. It's all freaking bullshit. Cheswick says, believe all women, maybe? Splash says, where the hell did Platner come from all of a sudden? They found him when he was an oyster guy. These rich dinks in New York City had heard about him, and then they Googled him, and they found all sorts of stuff about him in Maine. Being an oysterman, and they said, okay, we'll make a star out of him. He's kind of young, he's kind of handsome, he's got an interesting story, and he's already a little bit of a socialist, and we'll just tell him he's a socialist, and we'll make money from him because we'll, with using social media, make a whole theater out of him. He talks about it, actually. He's a vapid a-hole, just parrots far-left talking points. Yeah, true. Tommy says, new trend. Dems are looking to social media for candidates. No political history required. True. They almost went damaged. They do want damaged people. That's right. Where in the world? Climate change moron is the new New York Congress person. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm sorry. Today slapped the crap out of me. Not really. It's been a good day. It's been a fun day. There is a. I'll tell you later. There's a scandal. I'll tell you later. Okay, let's go to the chat, shall we? And then I have to cook everybody dinner. I look forward to it. It's kind of an early night, so I can get to use all these leftovers. Perfect. Early dinner. Tom, chat. Where does that sit usually? It's over here. Usually, it's up here somewhere. Oh, did I get rid of it? Maybe I got rid of it. Sorry. Sorry about that. All right. I'll say sorry more. Ooh. Here we go. Ready?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Charlie.
You know what you guys missed is that when the orange kitten was for free.
Hold on. Was this the one? We played this one, right?
Hey, Tom. I just want to tell you that this isn't going to do anything for you calling me an elitist.
Okay,
but on
that's
the
the one we
4th of
played
July.
yesterday. Okay, here's the one we didn't play. Here we go.
Hey, Tom. You know what you guys missed is that when the orange kitten was for free.
Yes.
You missed a chance to chime in and say, I could take an orange kitten. We have a plethora of squirrels, chipmunks, rats, moles,
Yep.
and birds. The kitty would be fine for a long time. You totally missed that one, dude.
I did, Charlie. I did. Believe me, I think about that. I just can't have the smell of cat piss in the house. Believe me, I think about that. If I had I used to have a killer cat growing up. This great cat named Nicholas. He used to just live outside all the time. He'd kill everything. He's always like gashed up and bashed up and like had scars and stuff. But he'd kill squirrels and mice and like freaking everything. He was great. I would wish we had one living around here right now. I would love that.
Hey, Billy from Manchester,
Hey, Billy.
via Italy, by the way.
Hey.
I haven't been listening much, but I had to call in.
Hey, Billy.
Comparing what this Rassicot woman's going through
Yes.
to the nacho machine at 7-Eleven is just, it's perfect. Perfect
How dare you.
Tom Shattuck. I mean, again, nothing shocks me more, but I'm stunned right now. Stunned.
Yeah, thank you. I know. I love the nacho machine. I told you about the time I called in a racist threat to this kid who was running who was manning the 7-Eleven on Charles Street in Beacon Hill in like 96 or something, 95, right around there. And I knew that nacho machine, it wasn't a machine then, it was just a nacho bar, but they had the pump and then they had the toppings. And the toppings were onions and the jalapenos and all the other stuff, And so I go in there drunk with two of my friends, and we're after a bar, Beacon Hill Pub or whatever. And I'm not like Platner where it's late night and I'm gonna score. I'm gonna score food. So this is what I do. And so I go in there. I start making nachos. He already doesn't like it because I've put the chips I've opened a bag of chips and put them in the thing before paying for them. I've gotten banned from a 7-Eleven for that. The one on Boylston and Essex Street. But anyway, this is the one on Charles Street, and this guy doesn't like what I'm up to, and I'm like messing around and pumping away at the nachos. And I know that beneath where the nachos are, it's refrigerated, and I know that that's where they keep the onions and the jalapenos. So I open it up and start putting stuff, and the guy reams me. What are you doing? You can't do that. You can't stop it. And reams me, and like threw me out. And I was like, I know where the nachos are. I know where the stuff is. And me and this guy had a big problem. So then I went up to the there was a payphone right around the corner from the Red Hat and where there was a Dunkin' Donuts for a while. And I called the 7-Eleven and threatened his life and said I was going to come there and kill him and used racist epithets at him. He wasn't black, so there you go. You can guess what he was. But it was not a Tom Shattuck is not that kind of racist. Wasn't. I had to use what I had tonight. The man took my freaking nachos. Oh, just let me have the. I know where the stuff is. I'm gonna put it back. Just let me have it. I'm going home alone. I'm not with a chick. I'm not with any This is me. This is how I end my night in patheticness. No, you can't have the onions. It's after fuck you, dude. Oh. Ugh. So anyway, and my friends were watching me. Like, I had two dudes with me because they still wanted to go to bars, so they still had a chance to grab chicks. But I was just, it was too I was too like whatever. I was very Tom Shattuck, and they were like, "What? What are you doing? Why are you? Why did you do that? Why are you threatening this? Like, why? What is this like racist?" Anyway, I just wanted my nachos.
You know, Graham Platner having a hobby and then calling himself an oysterman.
Correct.
That's like Tom saying he's straight because he's married.
Incorrect.
I mean, please.
Incorrect.
We all know the story.
Incorrect. No, I'm a bona fide, I guarantee you, straight guy. There's no doubt about that. Although we did have this guy in about 1992, you might remember, 91, there was a plane that was flying like to Hawaii, and half the fuselage like roof came off, and the people just had to sit in their seats while they had no roof anymore. It was a convertible as it landed. One of the guys on that flight worked at the Sonesta when I worked there. He was a gay guy. He was on that flight. He would talk about it sometimes, and he would see me and my friend Mike, who you've all met, like walking down the street, and he would tell everybody we knew. He was like, "Oh, let me tell you something. I have gaydar, and those two are a thing." And he was like, because he was like legit tank top, bright pink tank top, wearing gay kind of guy. Like, get me off of your gaydar, dude. I wasn't gay ever. Mike, I'm not talking about Mike. I'm talking about the guy. The guy's name is Rob. I think you can probably find him in the Flight Manifest. Oh, I picked him up on gaydar. Like, shut up. Ugh.
Tom, very disappointed that you didn't realize what that post was the other day about the person looking for the free orange kitten. First of all, it was a guy that posted it.
All right.
Secondly,
what was it?
What do you think the orange kitten really was? You're supposed to have at least a little bit of street smarts here. Come on, Shattuck, get on the stick, would you?
Oh, you're suggesting that it's... Oh, really? By the way, are all those... do I say this? Do all those posts like saying, "Hey, I'm back from Salem State for the summer and I'm really looking for gigs babysitting," and these like are 10.0 chicks, are those real? I think no.
So the other night, Tom references The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
References all the actors and actresses that were in the movie, who they were, who they played. He even knows that Meryl Streep is actually based around the real-life person, Anna Wintour.
Yes.
And yet, he doesn't know who was in Spartacus, except Tony Curtis, who was at the time a prepubescent boy giving baths to old men.
Really?
He still hasn't seen The French Connection.
I have not seen that. No.
Alice, just go into that wallet of his and take out the man card, please, and burn it. You are the queen of Newbury, West Newbury, East Newbury, all the Newburys, Newburyports, Newburyvilles, everything. Unbelievable.
That is incorrect. I can call somebody. I know somebody who I called 10 years ago on the air at Herald Radio to assure, who's admitted to having had been romantic with me in the 90s. So they exist. That was a woman. She still is a woman. Okay, let's see. Where in the world? Paul rejected Tom and he fell into nacho depression. That is not true, although it was right around the corner from that place. That is not true. Me and Paul did not have we had that one interaction, and then I was like, oh, fuck. Because he started going to my favorite bar, and like, I was under 21, so I couldn't get into anywhere else. Tommy says, Tim, correct. Tommy, New Hampshire. Tommy, Tim, and Steve from Merrimack go to watch Taco in concert and Spandau Ballet together. So, yeah, I'm not taking this. Not gay. Got it, Tommy. That's bold. Tommy, first of all, I've never seen that guy with so many pictures of other men in tool belts, like wrestling. Okay, there was something happened there. Something happening there. See, New Hampshire gets cold in the winter. Everybody has their way to get around it, and I'm just saying, my moles, it's not me, I'm just saying my moles have noticed stuff. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. This is perfect. 7:06. That means the pork is done. Oh, that's great. I'll be a big hero downstairs. appreciate all you guys. I'm sorry that sometimes I don't care. You don't care. I mean, you're not really. At this point, it's a pity project, is it not? I'm in for Grace Hall next week unless they say no. Anything could happen. One never knows. I'll tell you about it. We'll see. See you tomorrow, though. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
C'est la vie.